The situation is intensifying, and the stakes are higher than ever. Last night, the Golden State Warriors secured a massive victory over the Phoenix Suns, a win that could prove to be pivotal for their playoff hopes. The final score, a dominant 133-95, not only demonstrated the Warriors' strength, but also signaled a shift in their trajectory towards securing a favorable spot in the playoffs. This victory was not just another notch in the win column, but a turning point that could potentially see them climb to the third seed in the Western Conference, depending on how other teams perform. It's a thrilling, unpredictable ride, and every game counts as we edge closer to the final stretch of the season. What made the victory so impressive wasn't just the scoreline, but the way the team played. With several key players stepping up and a deep bench contributing in a meaningful way, the Warriors showed their championship pedigree. But perhaps the most notable aspect of the game was the performance of one key player who had been struggling with inconsistency. This player, who had been having a rough stretch, scoring just 3 points in a recent game, bounced back in a big way, finishing with 25 points and 9 rebounds, all in just 26 minutes of play. It was a huge turnaround, and his contribution was vital in ensuring the team took control early on and never looked back. His performance was especially encouraging given that he's been battling back from a back injury sustained a few weeks ago. Since his return, he has averaged 19 points per game, and his impact has been undeniable. In the last game, he put up 22 points in just 22 minutes, showcasing his efficiency with 4 made three-pointers on 6 attempts and a perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line. His comeback is a testament to the team's depth and resilience. Even when injuries and struggles hit, the Warriors have always managed to bounce back and make the most of their resources. This player has proven to be an essential piece of the puzzle, stepping up in a major way when his team needed him most. His ability to contribute in multiple facets of the game, scoring, rebounding, and facilitating, has made him a crucial part of the team's success in recent weeks. Other players have also been stepping up. One player, in particular, has been on a tear, scoring over 20 points in several consecutive games. It's clear that the Warriors' depth is a key asset in their pursuit of a high playoff seeding. A deep roster means the team can rely on a variety of players to carry the load on any given night. It's this type of balance and versatility that makes the Warriors so dangerous, and it's something that has carried them through both good and bad stretches this season. The most encouraging aspect, however, has been the play of the bench. In a game where the Warriors built an early lead and never looked back, the bench got plenty of run, with 14 players seeing action. This allowed the starters to rest and recover, with some key players even sitting out most of the second half. It's exactly what a team in playoff contention needs: minutes for the reserves, while still securing a dominant victory. The game against the Suns was over early. By the end of the first quarter, the Warriors had built a commanding 37-24 lead, and by halftime, the game was practically out of reach with the Warriors holding a 19-point lead. The second half was more about managing the game and giving the bench an opportunity to contribute. It was a perfect scenario for the Warriors, allowing them to rest key players while also giving their reserves valuable experience. One player in particular, who has been a key contributor off the bench, had a solid outing, finishing with 13 points and 8 rebounds in just 19 minutes. This type of production is exactly what you want from a bench player. He's a strong finisher around the rim, and while he may not be the most polished player defensively, he gives the team an added dimension when he's on the floor. His performance exemplifies the importance of the Warriors' deep roster. While not every player had a standout game, the fact that they were able to get so many players involved in a blowout win shows the team's balance and versatility. Another player, who hasn't been in the spotlight as much, also made the most of his minutes, despite not scoring much. He played 7 minutes, but didn't manage to make any shots. His contribution wasn't on the scoreboard, but the fact that he got some run in a game that was already decided shows the depth the Warriors have. It's the kind of depth that can make a huge difference in the postseason, where fresh legs and contributions from all parts of the roster are crucial. The Warriors' ability to get their bench involved in games like this one is a great sign for their playoff push. While the Warriors were taking care of business, other teams around the league were experiencing some wild outcomes that could directly impact the Warriors' playoff positioning. One game, in particular, was an absolute roller coaster, with one team blowing a massive lead in the final period, ultimately losing by a wide margin. That result couldn't have come at a better time for the Warriors, as they now find themselves in the midst of a heated race for playoff positioning. Two other teams also lost, which is exactly what the Warriors needed in their pursuit of a higher seed. As the playoff picture becomes clearer, the Warriors have a legitimate shot at finishing with the third seed in the West, but it's going to take a perfect finish to the season. They need to win all of their remaining games and hope that a few other teams slip up along the way. The road ahead won't be easy, but the Warriors have the talent, depth, and experience to make a deep playoff run if they can get there. As the Warriors push forward in their quest for a top playoff spot, other factors are playing a role in shaping their future. While the Warriors have been on a positive trajectory, other teams around the league are experiencing fluctuating fortunes, which can either benefit or hinder the Warriors' path. The unpredictability of the NBA season has been on full display, and one can only imagine how much the final games will impact the playoff seeding. The Warriors, despite their recent surge, are still in the thick of a fierce battle, and nothing is guaranteed until the final buzzer sounds on the last day of the regular season. Last night's victory over the Suns was important, but it was just one part of the puzzle. The Warriors' path to the third seed is not entirely in their control. For them to leap into the coveted third position, several factors need to align perfectly. The Warriors must win out, a feat that will require them to be at their best in every remaining game. However, even if they win every game, there is no certainty that they will jump to the third seed. This is where the performances of other teams come into play. Several teams that are also vying for playoff positioning have their fates in their own hands, and some are facing much tougher opponents down the stretch. The Warriors will need these teams to falter in order to maximize their chances of moving up the standings. It's not just about what the Warriors can do. It's about the other team's ability to maintain or lose their form in the final weeks of the regular season. The Warriors have been fortunate in a sense, with a couple of key losses by teams above them. One of those teams blew a significant lead in a game that had major playoff implications, and their inability to close out the game will have lasting effects. The team was up by 24 points before being outscored 40-13 in the final period, resulting in a crushing defeat. This loss has opened the door for the Warriors to potentially leapfrog them in the standings. If the Warriors can take care of their business and win their remaining games, they could easily find themselves in a much more favorable position, but they still need other teams to stumble. The Warriors' hopes depend on a delicate balance of their own performance and the results of others. The NBA playoff race is one of the most exciting aspects of the season, especially when the teams are so closely matched. The Western Conference is particularly fierce, with several teams battling for positioning. The Los Angeles Lakers, in particular, are a team that the Warriors must watch closely. The Lakers are still one of the most dangerous teams in the league, despite some recent struggles, and their experience and depth make them a formidable opponent. The Warriors will need to monitor their progress closely, as a potential matchup with the Lakers in the playoffs is something that could be both thrilling and nerve-wracking. Many fans, especially those of the Warriors, are not eager to see a first-round matchup against the Lakers, knowing the challenges that such a series would present. The Lakers have the star power, they have the history, and they have the league's backing, making them a tough opponent in any series. It's not just about the Warriors' potential matchups. It's about the league's dynamics and the way the games unfold. The drama and unpredictability of the playoffs are what make this time of year so special. There are plenty of storylines unfolding in the West, with teams like the Grizzlies and Nuggets also playing important roles in shaping the playoff picture. The Grizzlies have been one of the most interesting teams in the league, especially since they made the decision to change coaches. Since that change, they've been riding a wave of inconsistency, with 3 wins and 3 losses, which has not helped their playoff seeding. The Grizzlies are a team that can be dangerous, but they're also very volatile right now. Another team that is beginning to face challenges is the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have lost 4 consecutive games, which has raised some concerns about their ability to maintain their position. Their recent struggles have brought them into the conversation for potentially slipping down the standings, which, in turn, could benefit the Warriors. It's interesting to note that the Nuggets fired their coach with only 3 games left in the season, which is a very unusual decision at such a late point. The timing of this decision has raised eyebrows, especially considering that the Nuggets are still battling for a higher seed in the Western Conference. For Warriors fans, there's a certain level of satisfaction in seeing Denver's instability, as it could open the door for the Warriors to make up ground. The coaching change in Denver is just one of many developments that have kept the playoff race so intriguing. The Denver situation has certainly been a topic of discussion, especially given that the coach in question was once an assistant with the Warriors during their early championship years. This coach had a role in the Warriors' success in the 2014 to 2015 seasons before moving to Denver. The fact that the Nuggets are struggling so badly, especially after firing their coach, has been a source of amusement for some Warriors fans who see it as a potential opportunity. However, it's important to remember that the Nuggets still have plenty of talent on their roster, and despite their struggles, they can still be a dangerous team in the postseason. The Warriors, meanwhile, have their own set of challenges. They need to continue playing at a high level and winning consistently. They can't afford any slip-ups at this point. They have already overcome a series of obstacles this season, with injuries and inconsistent play, but they've managed to put themselves in a position where they can make a strong push for a high seed in the playoffs. Their depth has been one of their biggest advantages, as they've been able to rely on multiple players to contribute on any given night. However, the question now is whether they can sustain this level of play as the pressure continues to mount. Every game is critical, and the Warriors need to stay focused on their goal. The games ahead are crucial, and the Warriors will need to be at their best to close out the regular season. They've shown that they can compete with anyone, but the true test will be how they handle the pressure of the final stretch. As we look ahead, the next few games could be make or break for the Warriors. They must win, and they must hope that the other teams around them stumble. The battle for the 3rd seed will be a tight one, and the Warriors will need all the help they can get. It's clear that the stakes are incredibly high, and the outcome of the season will depend on how well the Warriors execute down the stretch. As the Warriors approach the final games of the season, the possibilities are still wide open. The team has shown resilience and determination, and they've proven that they can compete at the highest level. But as we've seen in the NBA, anything can happen, and the final few games will determine whether or not the Warriors can secure a favorable playoff position. The road ahead is full of challenges, but it's also full of potential. The Warriors have a chance to make a deep playoff run, and they will need to give everything they've got to make that happen. With their depth, experience, and determination, they have the tools to succeed. But it's going to take a collective effort from every player and a little bit of luck to ensure that they reach their goal. As the final days of the regular season approach, Warriors fans are hoping for a strong finish. The team's performance in the coming games will be crucial in determining their playoff fate. The 3rd seed is within reach, but it won't be easy to get there. The Warriors will need to stay focused, execute their game plan, and rely on their depth to get through the final stretch. The excitement and intensity of the playoff race are palpable, and the Warriors are in a prime position to make a run. Whether they finish as the 3rd seed, the 4th, or the 5th, one thing is clear. The Warriors are ready to make their mark in the postseason. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The NBA world is buzzing once more. At the center of the latest storm stands Jimmy Butler. Barely 2 months into his stint with the Golden State Warriors, whispers are growing louder that Jimmy Buckets could be packing his bags again. After a dramatic exit from Miami and a high-profile arrival in San Francisco, the idea of Butler leaving the Warriors so soon has fans and analysts alike scratching their heads and leaning in with curiosity. Butler, who made his Warriors debut on February 8th with a fiery 25-point performance against his former team, the Chicago Bulls, seemed to find new life in the Bay Area. His on-court intensity, combined with veteran leadership, injected a fresh spark into Golden State's locker room. Just a month later, he recorded a triple-double, his first with the team, signaling that he was settling in. So why are rumors of his departure gaining traction? Speculation has surged following reports of subtle friction between Butler and key Warriors personnel, as well as cryptic comments from the star during recent post-game interviews. Insiders point to lingering tension from his turbulent final months in Miami. Suspensions, clashes with management, and even walking out of practice, suggesting that Butler may still be carrying emotional residue. Although nothing has been confirmed, his history of abrupt exits keeps the rumor mill churning. Adding fuel to the fire is Butler's massive 2-year, $121 million contract extension signed just after his trade to Golden State. While it signaled long-term commitment, some now question whether it was a strategic move, one designed to boost his trade value before another potential blockbuster deal. With the Warriors in a transitional phase, retooling around aging stars and rising talents, moving Butler could align with long-term plans, especially if internal harmony is at stake. For now, Butler remains a Warrior, but in a league where loyalty is fleeting and drama is currency, fans know better than to rule anything out. Whether this is just smoke or the start of another firestorm, one thing is certain: Jimmy Butler continues to be one of the NBA's most compelling enigmas. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.